and welcome to Conservation Talks Tonight. This evening we're going to be discussing RSPB Lochwinnochs Visitor Management Plan. Is it a failure or is it fundamental? Lochwinnoch is one of Scotland's largest wetland reserves and is a certified SSSI for both its breeding bird assemblage and its system of eutrophic lochs. The reserve is highly connected, with a train station just across the road and a network of major roads nearby. The last management plan was published in March 2014 and expired just last month, making this the perfect time for a review. The visitor management plan is based on research on visitor profiles and needs, but even the author admits that the data is not watertight. Plans are based on research, but information is only collected from those who choose to enter the information centre, meaning that the data is skewed. The layout of the reserve means that many visitors don't enter the visitor centre, and more effort is needed to reach all stakeholders. For example, Brecon Beacon's visitor management plan used 7 different locations to distribute their survey, and used 3 different types of survey. Overall, the flow of the visitor management plan is good and in keeping with industry standards, according to the CMS Guide to Management Planning. The visitor management plan is nestled within the heart of the management plan for Lochwinnoch, which is good because it shows that visitor management is intrinsic to the conservation goals, something which is encouraged in the industry. Some sites, such as Brecon Beacons for example, choose to separate their visitor management plan from their conservation plan, and this is discouraged because visitors have a direct impact on conservation goals, and therefore the two shouldn't be divided. Lochwinnoch's visitor management plan adequately assesses the recreational carrying capacity, but it is noted that visitor numbers are not almost high enough to affect the environment. The reserve is divided into 3 zones using the recreation opportunity spectrum to provide a balance of easily accessed areas which are rich in educational activities such as pond dipping, with areas which are less easily accessed but are higher in conservation value, such as the Bar Loch Trail, which requires outdoor gear to access but provides an incredible wetland bird spectacle. 6 major objectives outline the visitor management plan goals for Lochwinnoch. Growing visitor numbers by 20% is a well-reasoned and attainable goal, especially given the connectivity of the reserve and the scope to increase the advertising opportunities. However, it's unfortunately evident that this has not been achieved this management cycle. Brecon Beacon's visitor management plan assessed site information accessed by visitors prior to and during their visit. This is an aspect of visitor research that Lochwinnoch could benefit from to assess where their public profile could be increased and where it's already sufficient. The plan does encompass a healthy focus on providing more viewing opportunities and improving the recreational area for children, as the surveys indicate that this would benefit the largest number of existing visitors. However, replacement of the visitor centre and extra facilities are a highly optimistic goal given the current financial state of the RSPB and the current state of facilities on site. The 5 lochs plan for Loch Lomond included predicted costs for development with income for each area and the proposed timescale for each proposed development. Perhaps if the management plan for Lochwinnoch followed suit and added these kinds of figures, it could encourage redevelopment of Lochwinnoch's infrastructure to become a more realistic goal. Objectives and methods for promoting opportunities for lifelong learning appear to be realistic, and school and volunteer groups provide opportunities to increase goodwill in the community and encourage visitation. Building and retaining the support of key stakeholders is vital for a reserve like Lochwinnoch, and while there is a strong focus on good relations with the landlord, SNH, the new plan should consider more focus on relations with neighbours and anglers, as there is little mention of this in the plan objectives, while the reserve regularly faces issues with vandalism and pollution. Signage is burned and dangerous fishing equipment such as hooks and needles are found regularly in areas where fishing is banned. Loch Lomond's 5 lochs management plan includes objectives for combating undesirable behaviours within the park, including outreach and protection through enforcement. This aspect is lacking in the visitor management plan for Lochwinnoch and could do a lot to reduce these undesirable behaviours. Maximising income is an important objective for Lochwinnoch, especially as it accompanies ambitious targets for infrastructure redevelopment. Targets comply with standard RSPB fundraising tactics, but they don't seek out new opportunities to increase revenue. The new visitor management plan could benefit from a focus on increasing and renovating methods used to maximise fundraising. Management should also encourage more staff to be present outside the visitor centre, as many visitors don't come indoors and don't pay the entry fee. Overall, Lochwinnoch's visitor management plan is appropriate, well structured and well targeted as far as visitor research indicates. However, it is evident that visitor research is not currently sufficient. The plan could improve with a greater focus on public outreach. Firstly, more extensive public surveys could improve the quality of information available. Second, increased outreach could reduce negative behaviours. And finally, a greater online presence could encourage increased visitation. All of these can be seen in the Brecon Beacons and the 5 Lochs management plan. Numerous goals have not been achieved this management cycle as they stretched the resources available far too far. A new viewing screen was built, while the old, popular, paid photo hide was neglected to the point of dilapidation. The new management plan should certainly have more focus on maintaining the visitor offer rather than expanding it, and could certainly benefit from following the suit of the 5 Lochs plan by including predicted costs and timescales. Lochwinnoch's management plan has a solid foundation, but it definitely has a lot of scope for improvement too. I'm excited to see the new plan, and I bet you can't wait either. This is Conservation Talks Tonight, and I've been Sophie Dornan. Thanks so much for tuning in, and good night.